Hi viewers, I'm Michelle with Cellar Queen Marketing, and I'm here to introduce beginners to wine. In my last video, we discovered why grapes are the perfect fruit for winemaking, but not all grapes are equal. In this video, we'll take a closer look at wine grapes and how they are different from the grapes that you see in the grocery store. Most of us know several different types of apples. There are Red Delicious, Fuji, Granny Smith, and Golden Delicious, among others. When you're shopping for grapes at the grocery store, you might only see them labeled by the colors red, green, and black. But just like there's different types of apples, there are different types of grapes. So let's look at some grape varieties. One grape you may know because Welch's made it famous is the Concord grape. Not only did Welch's make the Concord grape famous, they were the first company to use Concord grapes to create non-fermented grape juice. Welch's grape juice was originally produced as a non-alcoholic option for communion wine in the Methodist Church before becoming a regular grocery store staple. Because of Welch's, Concord grapes are the most well-known grape in the United States, and their flavor has inspired many grape sodas and candies. Now, let's talk about the grapes you see in the produce section of the grocery store, table grapes. Table grapes are produced to be eaten as fruit. They are large, juicy, and thin-skinned, with the most popular varieties being seedless. While store signage often only reveals their color, there are different varieties of table grapes, with the most common being Thompson seedless, Crimson seedless, Flame seedless, and Tom Cord. These varieties are chosen as table grapes because their thin skins and abundant pulpy centers are the most pleasurable to eat. Now, it might surprise you to find out that only 25% of the grapes grown in the US make it to the supermarket as table grapes, jellies, and non-alcoholic grape juice. The vast majority of grapes grown in the US are used to make wine, and you might be more familiar with wine grapes than you realize. Wines made in the US are generally named after the grape used to make them. So Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Sauvignon Blanc, and Pinot Noir are all the names of grapes. So when you're walking through the wine department, you will probably see sections signed by the name of the grape used to make that wine. But just because the wine says Chardonnay on the label doesn't mean that only Chardonnay grapes were used to make that wine. The US regulation is that 75% or more of the juice of the grape on the label must be used to make the wine. So while it may say Chardonnay on the label, the wine could be made from different varieties of grapes, but at least 75% of the juice will come from Chardonnay grapes. Now, I've only mentioned the names of some of the most common wine grapes, but there are thousands of different grape varieties used to make wine. So let's talk about what makes a grape ideal for winemaking. As we learned in my last video, grapes are the ideal fruit for winemaking because of their high but balanced sugar and acid levels and tannins. So, what do wine grapes have that table grapes don't? Well, for starters, they have way more sugar. As we've learned in my previous videos, in order to turn juice into wine, you've got to have sugar. Table grapes are only composed of about 10 to 15% sugar, while wine grapes are in the range of about 25 to 30% sugar. That makes getting a wine's ideal alcohol level that much easier. With all that sugar, you've got to have acid. As we learned in my last video, grapes have very well balanced sugar and acid levels. So, with wine grapes having a higher sugar concentration, they are also much higher in acid. Now, let's talk tannins. As we learned in my last video, tannins are molecular structures that are found in the skin, seeds, and stems of grapes. They help preserve wine and are the key component in determining a wine's body. Wine grapes are much higher in tannins than table grapes. Wine grapes are smaller with thicker skins, and while table grapes have few to no seeds, wine grapes can have up to 6 seeds per grape. That gives wine grapes the tannin smack down over table grapes. And that, my friends, is why not all grapes are equal. But there is one interesting thing that most grapes have in common, whether they're table grapes or wine grapes. No matter what color the skin, the majority of grapes have clear juice. This includes Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Pinot Noir. Check out my next video to find out where wine gets its color. Thank you so much for joining me for my video, Wine, Not All Grapes Are Equal. And please join me for my next video, Let's Talk Tannins. Until then, live well and enjoy wine.